Tired of cold calling? Introducing Lucia, the easiest, most accurate. Here I am after so many years. Love I hatred, trapped by fear. I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll find my home. Help me, I'm stuck. Won't you be my babe? I need somebody who listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you. Yeah.
Greetings, peace. My name is Brother Frank. I'm with my brother,
Abdul Haq Islam.
and we are representatives of the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. We are presenting the political prisoner platform through this podcast called the N.E.P.P.C podcast. Currently, we are in Bed-Stuy. We are live on Fulton Avenue. You hear there's a bunch of traffic behind us. People are walking back and forth. But we realize that when we talk about political prisoners, it's very important to bring that idea to the street, to the people, because this is a idea that's seldom talked about in the community. And we say that we have to stay active when it comes to political prisoners. We have to be the voice of political prisoners. We can't let political prisoners die in prison. So that's why we out here right now to take a moment to talk about political prisoners, So we ask that you subscribe to the Northeast Political Prisoner N.E.P.P.C podcast YouTube channel. Check that out. Please subscribe, share it with as many people as possible. We got to get that subscription up so that we can do other work that's going to be necessary to free all political prisoners. In addition to that, we ask that you check out the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition website. That's northeastpoliticalprisoner.wordpress.com. So check that out and let people know about what's going on, what we're doing. The children have started the school year. Let their minds be inspired by the sacrifices and commitments of political prisoners. So Abdul Haq, add on to what the people need to be doing as we must stay active when it comes to the idea of political prisoners.
Yeah, peace and love. We are doing this show enough guerrilla style today because we in the middle in a few minutes we're going to a program we put together called "We Will Stop the Killing." So we on the street right now. You dig, like true gorillas. Bringing it to you. But don't nothing stop us. You know. Right now I want to say, and making reference to a program that Brother Sekou and some more people have, that the reason people are not supporting political prisoners like they're supposed to, one of the big reasons is that people are scared. You know, um, this is an enemy that has been very, very antagonistic to our people, to nations of people, and some of the people are scared. But our political prisoners, a value in them is that they have set the example of being bold and audacious and completely fearless, and that type of spirit, that type of warrior spirit needs to be free, needs to be among the people, to make the people bold and audacious, you know. So we are saying, don't be scared of the enemy, you know. The enemy puts out a lot of false propaganda, a lot of fairy tales, a lot of lies, that's got people hypnotized. It's like a mouse that's looking at a snake, and the mouse is so mesmerized and paralyzed, looking at the snake, about how superior this snake is, how beautiful the snake is, you understand? And by him being totally, you understand, under the spell of this snake and the words, in reality that this snake gives our people, this predator gives our people, that the snake eats them. You understand? So this is what the enemy is doing. He wants us to abandon those who have stood up against him, against this murderous criminal system. He wants us to abandon them. You understand? That's a very, very unprincipled thing for people to do, to forsake those who sacrifice everything for them, who live by the highest principles, the highest morals. You understand? Who give the best example. You understand? And indeed, the enemy has murdered some of our people, some of our freedom fighters, and imprisoned some of our freedom fighters. That's what they do all around the world. But see, all that can backfire because the blood of the martyr often rises up as a fire against the enemy. To set the enemy on fire, to set his plans on fire, to set his structures on fire, whatever he's organized on fire, you understand? Because in the hearts and minds of the people is the principle, the way of life that the heroes have exampled for them. You understand? The things that they live by, the self-determination, the independence, the boldness, the courage, the fearlessness,
That undying love.
that undying love. You understand? That these things, the blood of our martyrs, will become a sword against the enemy. And indeed, the enemy, we talk about people being scared, but the enemy, you understand, when masses and masses and masses of our people make a political demand, the enemy shakes like a little mouse in the corner. So we got to understand that they paper tigers. They want to pretend they iron tigers, but they paper tigers. You understand? So we're saying that among the demands of the people, the top of the line has to be the freedom of our political prisoners, those who love us, who are gave us that supreme love. You understand? So let's give them some love and demand freedom for all our political prisoners. Black power.
As always, you bringing fire to this very important conversation, this necessary conversation. Because as we said before in our previous episode, we said that when Romaine Chitts Fitzgerald made his transition when he passed away, that should have inspired us to do more regarding political prisoners. We got to say their name. We got to use every podcast platform to address that. We know that there's many podcasts out there. We got to challenge them to address the issue of political prisoners, to challenge the, the the system, the state that says that there's no political prisoners, that those people are criminals, they're terrorists. And we got to say that those people are freedom fighters. They are freedom fighters. They are liberators. And we got to struggle to bring them home. That's why we got to get involved. There's a tribunal coming up. I just gave the information. I'm going to give the information again. Please take note. Please share this live broadcast. Please share it with at least 10 people. Let's spread the word. Let's bring our political prisoners home because of just imagine if you had the courage to be a part of a political organization. And because of your ability to organize people and make more people aware and involved, that led to your incarceration. And while you're incarcerated, people just forget about you. Just imagine what that would do to you. But our political prisoners are strong. As in our previous discussion, uh, the advocate for Sundiata's Kohli's release said that Sundiata said the state don't free political prisoners, the people do. So that alone let us know that we have to get organized. We got to get busy. We got to bring this idea to a family events, to school programs, right? It's schools program. The school season just started right now, right? So we should be at PTA meetings talking about. We need to talk about political prisoners to these children and let them know that there are people who made sacrifices for them. Don't think like you just got that type of classroom with those type of resources without the sacrifices of anybody. Everything comes through a sacrifice from somebody else, and you gotta appreciate that sacrifice, and you gotta do something about it. And that's why we're telling people get involved in the political prisoner work. Write to a political prisoner. Donate some money to a political prisoner organization. You can donate to the N.E.P.P.C. Um, organization. I gave you the information. Consider donating $10 a month, which is only $2.50 a week. Just $2.50 a week. That's $10 a month. Because what that goes to our work. That helps legal fees. That helps community programs. That helps a number of things that we can do to raise awareness of political prisoners. Just think about that. Just make time for those who made sacrifices for you, right? And if you're a part of a religious organization and you stand on morals, you stand on principles, then you need to be involved in this type of work because you can't be on a sideline of injustice and expect to be a person that's considered of high morale, right? We're here to pull your moral fabric and test you and to let you know that we're aware of who you are and what you claim to be. And we are telling you, we're challenging you to take up the idea of political prison. See, we're in Fulton Street, right? See, I got to pause for a second. We're on
They get
Fulton
ready.
Street.
They get ready to get them people fined for making all that noise.
Right, the real noise we
Trying
need
to,
to make
I guess
is
they're trying
free
to
all
prove it.
political prisoners.
I guess they're trying to prove their manhood or something. I don't know.
Right? So right up the block, they got a masjid, right? At that masjid, we need to be challenging them to take up the idea of political prisoners. So, being that this is a script that has a strong Islamic presence, speak on that for a second, brother.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Islam started out standing up against the oppressors, and that has been the history, and the Quran says to stand up against injustice, even if it's against your loved ones, against yourself. To be fair, to be just. This is a command. It's not Allah saying this is a good idea or asking you to do it, but this is something that is a command for us to do. To stand up against injustice. So we're saying that all our brothers and sisters in the different religions, who are against evil in the world. You understand? Against evil, that the greatest purveyor, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, the greatest purveyor of violence in the world is the United States of America. A great purveyor of evil that spreads evil all over the world. And our political prisoners stood up against that. So if people are truly religious and about morals and ideals and all that type of stuff, they will stand up. You understand, against those who perpetrate evil in everything they do, blood and murder. You understand? Genocide, infanticide, murdering babies, rape, robbery, and pillage. You understand? They will stand up against those who do this. And this indeed is what our political prisoners did, and the people to stand up and support them. Just to put a little bit more relevancy into, we on our way to a program that we put together said called "We Will Stop Killing Each Other," and brother Matulu, through his son, stepson Tupac, put out a call, you understand, to the brothers and sisters in the community for a code to stop the shooting, to stop this madness, also the brother Imam Malik, formerly known as Jeff Ford, you know, and um, and Hoover, got together and said that we got to stop the killing. So one of the propagandists from the Chicago Sun-Times said it is impossible for black people to stop this violence. So this is the propagandist lying to us, telling us that we are totally incapable of doing anything. We cannot be self-determining. We cannot be the determining factor in our own lives. That always it's got to be white supremacy that determines everything in our lives, that determines whether we live or die, which determines everything in our life. But we say no. We're talking about independence. We're talking about self-determination. So today, we are right now in a few minutes, we are going to our meeting that we organized called "We Will Stop Killing One Another." We was out here pumping it the other day, and a couple of brothers came by and said that it's impossible for us to stop this violence. But revolutionaries say we can do anything. Garvey said, "Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will." So revolutionaries believe that we can do anything we put our minds to, anything we put our wills to, and that's the type of spirit, the warrior spirit that our political prisoners have, and that spirit is buried 60 feet down in the ground, you understand, in these penitentiaries. So we need to free that. So, like the brother said, the masses of the people, get things done. The enemy, you understand, quakes, quakes in his boots at the proliferation, the rising up of multitudes of people. That makes the enemy tremble in his boots. You know what I'm saying? And makes things happen. It's always been the masses of people who have made history. It's not just one or two leaders who make history, it's been the masses of the people who make history. So we can make history in this epoch, in this issue of our political prisoners. It needs to spread. It needs to become a top priority of the things that we're dealing with in the community. Put some black power to it. Black power.
Black Power. So we pretty much touched on everything that we needed to touch on. We just want to continue to focus on what's coming up regarding the political prisoner work. So I gave you the dates for the tribunal. That's going to be from October 22nd to October 24th. Make sure you registered
Get on
online.
that. Get on that.
Yes, yes, that's very
Get
important
on
because
that.
we got to stay active with the political prisoner work. So we're gonna sound off. We touched on everything. We gave you the information as we usually do. We ask that you share this episode And just stay active with talking about political prisoners. Subscribe to a community page on Facebook. Subscribe to a YouTube channel that addresses political prisoners, and just have a dialogue with your family, a few minutes, maybe an hour throughout the week. Write to a political prisoner. Do your part, and don't let them die in prison. What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them
What's
all.
the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.